I thank you, Ferdy, and don't worry, Bobby and I will dedicate that fight to you. As we turn our attention now to arguably the best fighter in the 10-plus year history of boxing's lightest weight division, the supremely talented WBC strawweight champion, Ricardo Lopez. It's been difficult for Lopez to find quality opponents or to verify the credentials of those who step forward. Myung Park is totally unknown to us, with only one recognizable name on his 11-4 ring record. But this is a very common problem in this weight division. Perhaps Lopez may view Park as his last opponent before moving up in weight.
My father liked boxing a lot, and at home I was very restless. And when I watched boxing, I asked him to take me to the gym. That's how I got started. My friends made fun of me because they saw me working out a lot, and now they see that I am the world champion. They see that what I wanted so much is now a reality. I always prepare to win, and I throw my punches to knock out. Often, you don't know which punch will floor your opponent. My problem in the United States is my weight. But I think in the United States, they should also appreciate a good boxer from the lower divisions, whichever one. But I want them to realize boxing can be done by a strawweight. Boxing is the art of hitting and avoiding being hit. And people should know the essence of true boxing is technique. They will always see Ricardo Lopez well prepared, in good condition and with good technique.
Well, this one has the elements of a one-sided affair, although given the general competition of the strawweight division, almost every Lopez fight can be considered a mismatch. Tonight, the smallest world champion, Ricardo Lopez, defends his title against number 6 rated Myung Park of South Korea in our main event of the evening. Back with the fight, Dr. Ferdy. Lopez is 18-0. We are really building this guy up. 18-0 in world championship fights. Just how good is he?
He's as good as I've ever seen. I mean, for a champion coming on the way he has, his record, amateur and pro, the way he fights, the technique, the simplicity of his attack, the wonder of his defense, I think he's the best fighter fighting today. It's unfortunate that he's this little weight. Well, that's tough luck. But if you go by the excellence of execution, you can't. I have not seen anybody as good as this technically in the ring in years.
And you got to like his philosophy: hit and not be hit.
How about he's a sweetheart. How about a sweetheart of a guy?
He is, even out of the ring, he's a gentleman.
He is.
How about a prediction?
Well, I think he's too much for Park. I think he's too much for anybody. He's going to have to step up and get bigger challenges than he's gotten. He's going that way. I mean, it's too bad, but he's going to have to get up bigger, because right now there's nobody in the world can stand up to this guy.
And Bobby Ches, Lopez with a tremendous knockout ratio for this division, but he's not a one-punch knockout artist. He displays tremendous patience, doesn't he?
Steve, he's literally a textbook come to life. He does everything so well. He couples great skills with tremendous patience, speed, timing, consistency, tremendous conditioning, and he virtually dismantles his opponents little by little, and sometimes all at once.
And again, just for the record, a prediction.
You know, I don't think it would be possible to predict against him. He is pretty much about as good as it gets in any division by knockout tonight.
Let's take a look at the challenger on that note. Myung Park, former Korean strawweight champion. They're enthusiastic behind him. His first world title fight. He's getting this coveted title shot. Only 15 professional bouts to his name, and tonight also his first fight in the United States.
Come on. Go, go, go.
there he is, Myung Park from Incheon, South Korea. And Purdy, Park, and Lopez do have one common opponent, a tough fighter from the Philippines named Andy Tabanes. Park lost to Tabanes by decision, but extending him the full 10 rounds. Lopez stopped him in the 12th, both fights last year. I don't know, should we read anything into that? Is there
no, except that the thumbnail of the whole thing is one guy beat the guy and the other guy lost to the guy, period. You could draw a line under there and say equals the advantage to, of course, the wonderful champion, Lopez.
All right. Myung Park continues to shadow box, and here is the champion, Ricardo Lopez. Tonight represents his 18th defense of the WBC strawweight title, a belt he's held for just over 6 years. A man who has never tasted defeat, pro or amateur. That's 83 fights all told.
Ricardo.
Ricardo Lopez makes his way into the ring out of Mexico City, owns the longest current unbeaten streak among world champions. And Bobby, we've called him the Joe DiMaggio of boxing because of his demeanor and his skill. He can also be compared to the San Francisco 49ers. That's right, a team that sort of scripts its first bunch of plays. I mean, he starts out in similar type fashion, but of course you have to be able to execute.
Well, you know, when the 49ers were a dynasty, that's what they had. They had discipline and execution. This kid is that good. He knows what he wants to do. His corner says, this is what we're going to do for X number of rounds. And then when they're ready, they turn him loose. He sticks to the game plan. It works for him. It's worked every time out, amateur and pro.
Maybe we'll see Bill Walsh in his corner.
Why not?
Not Nacho Beristain. Let's size him up as we check out the tail of the tape. A 7-year age difference with Park just 22. The height and weight almost even. You'll notice both came in under the 105-pound limit, boxing's minimum weight, and the 2-inch reach advantage for Lopez. And of the WBC rules for this championship fight, scoring under the 10-point must system, 3 scoring judges. There's no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. The referee or the doctor can stop the fight. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the final round. If an accidental foul occurs before the start of the 4th, the fight is ruled a no decision. If it happens after the start of the 4th, they go to the scorecard. So here at the Fantasy Springs Casino in Indio, California, closing in on the WBC strawweight title fight, Ricardo Lopez versus Myung Park. Let's get the official introductions from our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue with our action at this time, we ask you to please rise as we present the Indian Anthem flag song, which celebrates the spirit of the warrior. Tonight, performed by Native American singers Michael and Isaac Morales. Thank you very much to Michael and Isaac Morales. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as always on Showtime Championship Boxing, a donation of $5,000 will be made by Don King Productions and Showtime to the United Negro College Fund, the National Hispanic Scholarship Fund, and tonight, courtesy of the Cabazon Band of Mission Indians, John James Tribal Chairman Mark Nichols, CEO, to the Desert Valley Educational Center. This donation will be made in the name of the Fighter of the Night, who will be selected by an expert panel of judges at the conclusion of tonight's action. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Fantasy Springs Casino here on the reservation of the Cabazon Band of Mission Indians for the featured attraction of the evening, brought to you by Don King Productions and Budweiser, the undisputed, undefeated King of Beers. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council, the President Jose Sulaiman, Supervisor Haig Collegian, along with the California State Athletic Commission. The chairman is William Eastman, Vice Chairman Willie Buchanan, Executive Director Richard DeCure. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. Robert Carnes, Dr. Adam Carnes, and Dr. Howard Baer. Timekeepers at the bell also keeping count of the knockdowns. We have Debbie Garcia and Mike Millsap. Introducing to you the judges scoring this bout from ringside, Lou Filippo, Herbert Min, and Sid Rubenstein. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, it is showtime! With the WBC Strawweight Championship of the World scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing, our referee in charge of this bout introducing Chuck Hassett. Introducing to you first the challenger on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing dark blue trunks and joining us all the way from Incheon, South Korea. He weighed in at 103 pounds. His record includes 11 wins, 4 losses, with 10 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former Korean strawweight champion, currently ranked the WBC number 6 contender. Please welcome the hard-hitting challenger, Myung Park. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with multicolored trim, from Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico, by way of Cuernavaca, Morelos, Mexico. He weighed in at 103 3/4 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with 43 wins, no losses, 33 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, he is making his unprecedented 18th defense of his title. Please welcome the most dominant strawweight in the history of boxing, introducing the WBC strawweight champion of the world, the undefeated Ricardo Finito Lopez. Once again, a referee in charge, Chuck Hassett, now to give instructions.
Hey. All right, let's go. Chief second. Chief second. Chief second. One. No, just one. One. All right, gentlemen, you've had your instructions. I want to repeat, we're working on voice commands. This is the World Boxing Council strawweight title fight, and I expect a championship effort. May I see your mouthpiece? Ricardo, mouthpiece. All right, any questions? Good luck, come out boxing. I got it. Okay.
The final instructions from referee Chuck Hassett. There's the champion, Ricardo Lopez, who last fought just 28 days ago in his remarkable 17 title defenses. Only 3 have reached the final bell. He's had more championship fights than this man, Myung Park, has had fights, 18 to 15. Park has fought only once in 96. A decision victory. It was the only time in his 11 wins that his opponent heard the final bell. He is 11-4 with 10 knockouts, while Lopez is 43-0 with 33 KOs. Lopez in the white trunks and Park in the black trunks.
The referee gave instructions in English. Neither fighter speaks a word of English.
Yeah, I was going to say, whereas in the last fight, the referee was perfect. In this fight, he's absolutely lost.
Well, I'll tell you what, Park just showed a pretty good chin. He got hit with one of the cleaner right hands that Lopez has thrown right on the button and didn't really flinch.
Lopez not usually a fast starter. He's very disciplined and very patient, as we have talked about. Very precise and accurate with his punches. He sees what he wants to do, and then he executes, and he gets very upset with himself if he doesn't.
Well, now I wonder if in the script for the 49ers, as we throw it back, the script for this one was go out and do a certain thing differently, because he's not starting as slow as usual.
Given that it's December the 7th, Bobby, maybe it's a surprise he had to just launch on him. After all, he is a tough fighter in the first round when he wants to be. By the way, you notice that the gloves are the Mexican flag, red, white, and green.
Doesn't bode well for the challenger. Lopez, very patient at the start, not in a hurry, but a superb finisher, a student of the game.
The big 1-2.
There you go. Surgical-like, master of the uppercut. There's the left uppercut, doubles up with the left uppercut, a straight left, going strictly with the left there, then a combination by Ricardo Lopez and opening up early here on the challenger.
You know, I'm a little bit surprised. He rocked him with that 1-2 and didn't really come in and jump on him, which is something certainly I would have done and most fighters would.
Known to wear opponents down, but he's going for the quick finish tonight.
Boy, is he ever. I don't think I've ever seen him this fast. I don't think I've ever seen him go after a guy this fast. Whoa.
Wild swing and a miss, but a left floors the challenger Park. A straight left. A little bit of a hook into it.
This fight's over, fellas. This fight is O-V-E-R.
A bloodied Myung Park staggers to his feet. Less than a minute remaining in round 1.
I don't believe
Will it continue?
Oh, I don't think so.
It does continue, but for how long? Lopez looking to finish it off. A left hook, a combination, and that's it. Chuck Hassett steps in, and it's over in round 1.
I think the referee second-guessed his decision and decided, you know what, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I do believe, Bobby, he had good second thoughts in a hurry, because this guy was in no shape when he got up. You could see it, he had blood coming out. It was no point continuing. But Bobby, it's the first time I've ever seen this guy come out that fast.
Not only not just the fact that he came out that fast, but Ferdy, it's the hardest I've ever seen him punch with single punches and in combination. I have never seen him punch that hard.
Yeah, when we say this guy punches hard, I've never seen that kind of velocity of punch. Wow, is that guy... I mean, his pinpoint accuracy and the strength of the punches.
I have a new boxing fantasy, Ferdy. You know what it is? It's to take the abilities of this kid and superimpose them, for lack of a better phrase, on a man 6'3", 230, and see what happens then.
Guys, can we manage him? You and I, let's manage him. Let's take a look at the knockdown, because this guy, just look at the way he, first of all, he holds his gloves up. Notice that he holds his gloves up all the time. Now, he missed with that, now watch him come back. There is the danger of this guy. He misses you with one shot and you think it's all over. Here comes the other one. Bobby.
Yeah, well, you watch it again. He's just big, wide left hook. It's not a clean left hook. It lands cleanly, but I mean, a little bit for him sloppy, but a picture perfect landing. What a great shot.
What had been happening to him previous to this was a series of very good punches. See the miss, and then recovery, and bang. Well, but what had been happening was, with one good right hand, he turned the fight, the round around, and then it was just a question of time before he exited this conscious world.
Well, it's his 5th career first-round knockout. Ricardo's reign continues. He does it in explosive fashion. Makes his 18th successful defense of the WBC strawweight title. Ricardo Lopez. We're set for the official time. Let's get it up to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 22 seconds of round number 1. Our referee in charge, Chuck Hassett, stops the contest. He's the winner by way of knockout, successful in his 18th defense of his title. He is still undefeated and still the WBC strawweight champion of the world, Ricardo Finito Lopez.
There is simply not enough competition in this weight class for this man, Ricardo Lopez, and I think it is inevitable, unquestionable, that he should move up in weight. Goes to 44-0, extending the longest current unbeaten streak among world champions. As mentioned, his 18th successful defense, 19, would tie him with Muhammad Ali and 5 others in 4th place all time for most successful title defenses per division. The leader is the legendary Joe Louis with 25. And this equaled the shortest amount of time between fights for him, 28 days. The last time he fought within a span of 28 days, you know what he did the second time? A first-round knockout, and he does it again here tonight. At 29, yes. Lopez continues to be the only world champion who has never lost a fight combining pro and amateur. Let's go to the fight doctor in the ring with Ricardo Lopez.
¿Por qué esa rapidez en el primer asalto? Nunca peleas así. Why so much speed in the first round? You never open like that.
Bueno, yo no sabía que iba a noquear. Yo me preparo siempre muy fuerte y le doy gracias a Dios que Don King me volvió a meter aquí en California.
Well, he said he wasn't looking for the knockout. He always prepares himself well, and he takes advantage of what comes. He thanks Don King for the opportunity to come here in California. ¿Pensaste que este podía recibir tu fuerte golpe después de la primera derechaza? Parece que lo tenías. After the first right hand, you seemed like you had him in trouble. You think he could take his punishment?
Nunca me precipito. Gracias a Dios me salieron bien las cosas. Estudié los videos de él. Pega fuerte. Es campeón de Corea, pero esta pelea que le dediqué a todo el público mexicano que vive en los Estados Unidos, no les fallé.
He said he dedicates us to the people in the United States that he likes. He prepares very well. He studied his videos. He knew this guy could punch hard. He wasn't taking in cheap. He decided to get in, take care of business, and get out of there before this guy had a chance. And now, usted mira y me dice qué ves en el knockdown. Fíjate. Ahí perdiste y ahora gana.
Gancho de izquierda a la mandíbula y no sabía y lo agarré muy bien.
Said I missed and then I hit him very well with a left right to the chin. Dímelo otra vez.
Sí, fallo la derecha, pero conecto con el gancho de izquierda arriba y nunca pensé que fuera a caer, pero lo conecté muy acertado.
He said I never thought he was going to fall. He said I missed him and then I hit him again. Y esto es donde se acaba.
Sí. Ahí veo un upper, otra vez el gancho arriba. Otro upper, recto de derecha. Y aguantó, pero yo pienso que ya estaba mal.
He said he described the blows, and he said he thought he was not in condition to continue. He agreed with a referee stoppage. Entonces, pensaste que estaba bien parada la pelea.
Yo creo que sí, el referee lo hizo bien. De todas maneras, yo iba a seguir fuerte toda la pelea. Traigo muy buena condición.
Well, whether he stopped it or not, he said he was going to continue on because one of the things he does is he comes to fight. He's well prepared, and he doesn't care whether it's 12 rounds. It's a little incident that he never gets to find out about 12 rounds because he knocks people out. But this is one premier fighter.
Yes, he is. He's an excellent fighter. He's got this 18th title defense.
All right, I don't mean to cut you off because you and I are coming back, but we had to pay attention to Steve Albert at ringside, and so I'm throwing it to Steve Albert at ringside.
All right, thank you very much, Ferdy. So there it is. Ricardo Lopez finds himself in some very impressive company. The third man on that list is considered by many as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. That, of course, being Roy Jones Jr. And in world title fights, Lopez now an incredible 19-0 with 16 knockouts, 8 consecutive KOs, which ties his personal knockout streak. So Lopez, #1, current undefeated world champion. All right, we're joined now by the current WBA super middleweight champion, fabulous Frankie Lyles. And Frankie, the reason we've got you here, you're back with Don King, and of course there's a big fight card coming up on February the 8th in London between Nassim Hamed and Tom Johnson to unify the featherweight title. But also on that card, is Irish Steve Collins, the WBO 168-pounder super middleweight champ. There is some speculation that you are in line to take on Irish Steve Collins, assuming Collins wins on February the 8th in London. Is there any validity to that speculation?
Yes, well, the way Don explained it to me, we're going to have like a triple header with the super middleweights. Myself, the guy Reed, and also Stevie Collins. Nassim Hamed is on the card as well, but we're talking about doing a unification thing. That was the thing that I was looking forward to doing. Don and I are just working things out.
Generally, where do you see yourself right now in the grand scheme of things? Who will you be fighting next?
I don't know who the next opponent will be. Don's guaranteed me a unification match before the year is out, before 97 is out. So I'm looking forward to that.
Now, Roy Jones, of course, said yesterday that he is looking to fight Virgil Hill, the WBA and IBF light heavyweight champion, and as I mentioned before, arguably the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Would you be looking for a matchup down the road with the great Roy Jones?
Well, right now I'm back with my family at Showtime, and that's in the hands of Don King. If Don King can put the fight together, I'd do it tomorrow. I think Roy, I take nothing away from Roy. I think he's a great champion. He deserves everything he's gotten so far, but like I say, if Don King can put it together, then I'm here and I'm ready to do it.
Now, didn't you fight Roy Jones in the amateurs and have some pretty good success?
Yes, I have. You know, like I said, I take nothing away from Roy. I think he's a great champion. I think he and I getting together would be our Hagler Hearns, our super bout. Something that, like I say, something that I really look forward to. Don let me come out of my contract so I can pursue doing it on my own. I talked with a bunch of the other promoters, and everyone made a lot of promises, but no one could deliver the fight. So, you know what I mean? I'm going the other route. I'm back at home, and, you know, I'm looking forward to doing some good things here with Showtime.
Do you feel you've had some tremendous success over the years? Do you feel, though, almost like the forgotten man in the big picture?
You know, I'm not complaining. I'm just here to have fun and do my job, you know?
All right, Frankie. Fabulous, Frankie Lyles.
Very
happy
much.
and healthy holiday and New Year to you.
Thanks again. Just happy to be back.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
All right.
All right, fabulous Frankie Lyles leaves us. Time now for our Fighter of the Night Award. A special panel of judges comprised of members of the boxing media covering tonight's action. Votes on the Fighter of the Night. Here's your panel. Jose Luis Camarillo of Esto of Mexico City, Ramiro Gonzalez of La Opinion, and Bill Plunkett of the Desert Sun. And the decision is in. Our panel of judges has selected as our Fighter of the Night, unanimous decision, Ricardo Lopez. A $5,000 donation will be made to the name of Ricardo Lopez to each of these organizations: the United Negro College Fund, the National Hispanic Scholarship Fund, and tonight, courtesy of the Cabazon Band of Mission Indians, Mark Nichols, CEO, John James Tribal Chairman, to the Eastern Valley Education Center by Showtime Networks and Don King Productions. Well, it's been a memorable year here on Showtime Championship Boxing, highlighted by Evander Holyfield's stunning upset of Mike Tyson last month. Things heat up again with more action to kick the new year off with a marathon night of boxing next month that includes 4 world title bouts. On Saturday, January 11th, from the Nashville Arena, WBO heavyweight champion Henry Akinwande defends his title against British heavyweight Scott Welch. IBF and WBC 154-pound champ Terry Norris faces Nick Rupa. IBF welterweight champion Felix Trinidad takes on Kevin Lushing. And in our 4th world championship fight, WBA junior welterweight title holder Frankie Randall battles Khalid Rahilu. Also featured on this blockbuster boxing card, women's sensation Christy Martin. Catch all the action Saturday, January 11th at the special time of 6 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. Then on Saturday, February 8th, Showtime presents a featherweight unification title bout featuring England's undefeated WBO champion Prince Nassim Hamed versus IBF featherweight champ Tom Boom Boom Johnson out of Detroit, Michigan. See this much anticipated matchup via satellite from the London Arena at 10 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on Showtime Championship Boxing. For more, let's go to the Fight Doctor, Bertie Pacheco with Don King.
Well, Don, we got to pay off that question Frankie just asked. Can you fix him up with the Roy Jones? Is it possible?
Yes, it is. If Roy Jones wants to fight, he can, because what we're doing is going about our business. Frank Warren and myself is putting together unification series. We got all of the super middleweights other than Roy Jones. Roy Jones has no one to fight, so he just keeps going around fighting these stiffs. So what we want to do is to put some real guys in front of him, and so these guys are going to make an elimination process themselves, and the winner of that process will be able to challenge Roy. In fact, everyone will challenge Roy right out the gate every time, because we want to end the mockery and the chicanery and just put some real contest into boxing, and we're looking forward to getting Roy Jones. Roy Jones, we want you. Stop hiding, come on out the woodwork, but let these guys fight and let the public see by action and deed what's happening rather than a whole lot of verbalization.
Well, one guy who is the best fighter in the world and not ducking anybody is Lopez. What's next for this marvelous little man?
Marvelous little man is an understatement. He's a sensation. He's a little guy. He weighs 105 pounds, but he edifies what Victor Hugo says, that the greatness of a nation can be no more determined by its number than the greatness of a man can be determined by his size. Little men are giants too, and a giant you have in this young man, Ricardo Lopez. And we're looking forward to bringing him up and letting him continue to beat everybody that's in sight and make him have national prominence, because people will come out to see a great fighter, and he is just that, a great fighter.
And we have a great card in Nashville. We have 4 of your better fighters fighting in Nashville. Let's cover that for a moment.
Well, first let me say, Ferdy, that we want to, at this Viacom family and Sumner Redstone and Philippe Damone and in the Showtime family, which is Matt Blank, our guy, along with Mark Greenberg, Roy and Jay, that's Roy Langford and Jay Locke, and want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We can't afford to let this year go without giving you the Yuletide spirits, because we feel it's just so great that we had an opportunity to visit you in your living room to say, you know, God bless you and have a healthy, happy, prosperous New Year. Now, to start out our New Year, we're going to start it out with a bang. I want to thank Nashville for letting me into their lives. I got Hank Williams Jr. This is a dynamic guy, up for 4 Grammy Awards. He probably will win all 4 Grammys. And this young man has wrote a song for me, Ferdy, especially for me. And the title of the song is, I'm going to knock you out. And so when I'm going to knock you out, that means he's going to introduce that song in the center of the ring in Nashville. So all the country stars will be there with Dolly Parton, Reba McEntire, you know, Arlene and Barbara Mandrell, George Strait, Bill Goth, George Goth, what is Goth, Bill Goth, isn't it? You know, Goth, you know, well, it's the great, he's the number one. He's the number one, I know that.
I'm a big expert on country music.
So these guys are really, all of them are coming out. You know, we're going to get Reba McEntire. We want to get a photo op with Christy Martin, who's the coal miner's daughter, along with Loretta Lynn. It's going to be a super sensation. I'm thankful to the mayor, Brenderson. I'm thankful to all of the people in Nashville for opening their doors and hearts to us to come in there and put on the greatest boxing show on earth.
But there is going to be boxing.
Oh, absolutely. You're going to have 5 world championship with the girl, with Christy Martin, the coal miner's daughter. You got Felix Trinidad defending his crown. You got Terry Norris defending his 2 crowns. You got Henry Akinwande, the WBO heavyweight champion, taking on Scott Welch from Britain. And you got Frankie Randall, one of Tennessee's own, defending his crown against Khalid Ralou from France. So it's going to be a super sensational evening of boxing at the Nashville Arena. So we want all of you to come on down and be able to see it, and you'll see it on Showtime.
Wait a minute. We spoke of Akinwande, a heavyweight champion. I think the entire country has been just vibrating with that terrific Tyson Holyfield fight. Now, we all want to know, me included, where are we going with this? When are these 2 guys going to meet again? What's happening with Tyson? Give us some update on that.
Well, we're working, as you know, very dedicatedly and committedly to try to get a rematch. We're working on that with Holyfield, and if the spirit moves him, I think we will have that. And we have Tyson, who's sitting back in the wings waiting. He's dedicated and redoubled his efforts to go out and try to regain the crown. So it's going to be a great, great show. So over the holidays, sit back, relax, get you a bud, and look at Showtime, because this is a good gift to give to one of your friends. Reach out and touch someone and give them a gift. A subscription to Showtime, because the best in boxing and music and entertainment will be on Showtime. So if one king to another, this bud's for you. We want you to make certain that you watch it. So you're going to have Mike Tyson right there getting ready, and it will be soon that we'll be making a major announcement in that department.
And right now, I, Dr. Pacheco, want to give you the gift of silence. So back down to Steve Albert, my friend, at ringside.
Thank you very much, Ferdy. Very appropriate right there. Well, in our first fight tonight for the WBA Featherweight Championship, Wilfredo Vasquez made his first defense, a 5th-round TKO at 237 over Bernardo Mendoza. And just for the record books, he was ahead after 4 rounds. Vasquez was 39-37 on one card, 39-36, 39-36. Does his victory warrant a shot at the winner of Hamed Johnson?
Well, you know, I think his abilities, not just this victory, but his abilities. His victory over Rojas, fights like that, yeah, it warrants it.
Okay, how about Ricardo Lopez? That was very impressive in the first round, 222 of round number 1.
I have never seen anyone at 100 pounds, a little above 103.5 pounds, I think he weighed, hit that hard. And he's just so perfect. The words cannot totally describe just how good he really is, Steve.
Well, he took him apart real fast. Let's take a look at the fastest first-round KOs in the history of the strawweight division, which is a little more than 10 years old. And Ricardo Lopez now ranks number 5 as he does it in 222 of round 1 against South Korea's Myung Park. All right, Bobby, how about that January 11th card coming up in Nashville, Tennessee? We've got the dynamic trio of Randall, Norris, and Trinidad. Should pose an interesting round-robin tournament.
Well, for those of us from the 80s, and I'm still a throwback to the 80s, we had some, yeah, I know I'm old. We had some great round robins in the 80s. Duran, Leonard, Hearns, Hagler. These fighters have the makings, if they can start squaring off on the weights, to do that same thing here in the 90s. Great cards, great prospective fights, man, really.
Everybody's still talking about Holyfield, Tyson. How about Holyfield, Tyson, too, sometime in the summer? Unbelievable.
Well, I believe that has to happen. The people want to see it happen. Probably be the biggest fight in history. The first one shocked everybody, yours truly included, probably more so than most. I was in the ring with him, and I just couldn't believe what happened. I watched Evander fight the perfect fight. He sat inside the eye of the storm, and he did to Mike Tyson what nobody's been able to do in that specific manner. I take my hat off to him, the ultimate overachiever. I want to see this. I want to see the rematch. I want to see World War III, number 2.
All right, Bobby, with that, let us recap tonight's results from right here at Fantasy Springs in Indio, California. First of all, in a heavyweight bout, Tony Tucker faced Tyrone Campbell and knocked him out in round number 3. Tony Tucker victorious. In the WBA Featherweight Championship, Wilfredo Vasquez, his first defense, facing Bernardo Mendoza, and he knocked out Mendoza in round number 5. And at our main event, it was Ricardo Lopez with his 18th defense of the WBC strawweight title over Korea's Myung Park with a stunning first round KO at 222 of the opening round. So that'll do it for another edition of Showtime Championship Boxing. We hope you enjoyed it. We wish you a very happy and healthy holiday and new year, and we'll see you next year, January 11th in Nashville, Tennessee, for the Fight Doctor, Freddie Pacheco, Bobby Ches, our entire crew. This is Steve Albert saying so long from the Fantasy Springs Casino in Indio, California.
Let's get it on.
Anytime, Steve.
1.
Round 2, scheduled for 10. Thomas T.